Hi everybody and welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have a little bit of a wrap up and then a book haul. So I haven't been here in a while because, as many of you know, I went to Ireland and I just got back yesterday. So here I am. I have 4 books to wrap you up on from before I left, and then 1 book to wrap you up while I was gone, and then I have a book haul. So I'm going to start with the wrap up really quickly. I don't recall the order that I read any of these books in, so I'm just going to share them with you. So I read The Girls of Mischief Bay by Suzanne Mallory. I was really excited to read this book. I gave it 4 stars. It took a lot longer to get through than I was expecting. It's a contemporary book that follows these 3 girls and their kind of lives and what they're going through. And they're kind of all at different stages of their lives. So it was really good, but it was really slow to get through. So I'm interested to see if the pace changes with the sequel. I read This Is Where It Ends by Marieke Nijkamp or something. I don't remember. I don't know how to pronounce that. This book is about a school shooting, and it didn't live up to everything that I was expecting it to be. So I believe I only gave this book 3 stars. It was interesting. It's just the part that I didn't really care for is it jumps right into the story, and I felt like I kept getting all the characters confused because it switches perspectives, and I didn't understand their backstory. I didn't understand what was happening for a little bit in the beginning, and then by the end I liked it a lot more than I did in the beginning, but the beginning just kind of set me off a little bit, so that's why I gave this book 3 stars. I read I Belong to You by Lisa Renee Jones. This is the 5th book in the Inside Out series. I read this one because I ended up buying the 5th book in ebook form because there's only an ebook form, and I was like, oh, I'll read it on vacation, so I have to read this one, even though this deals with a completely different character. I figured just in case I didn't want to miss anything, but then I didn't end up reading the 5th book anyways. I gave this book 3 stars. I felt like it just kind of was. I really didn't care for the different perspective. I just wish it stayed with the rest of the series' perspective and didn't change characters because I missed our main characters a little bit. So at least I read it. I don't have it with me because I accidentally left it at my parents' house. The day it came out, because it came out at midnight, I read the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I read it the next day, actually, because I bought it the day it came out, and then the next day we were supposed to be packing. We were leaving for Ireland, so this was August 1st, and I literally sat down on the couch before I got in the shower, and I was like, I just want to see what it's like. I just want to see what it looks like. And then Patrick came and found me like 45 minutes later and was like, I thought you were getting in the shower. And I was like, oops. And I was already like 85 pages in. So I didn't rush, but I kind of like rushed to finish it before we got on the bus to go to the airport. And I gave that book 5 stars because it was just so nostalgic and it was just so fun to read. I'm sorry I don't have it to show you, but I know all of you probably know exactly what it looks like. So I read that and I hauled it. Patrick actually bought it for me. I kind of traded him that for dinner, so he bought me that and I paid for dinner. And then on vacation, I read one in like a quarter book. The quarter book that I read, and I don't know if I'm going to actually go through with trying to finish it, was, hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to get it to show me the cover, was The Tour by Jean Granger. I didn't get very far at all in it. I'm only on page 63 out of 307 pages, so I have a feeling I won't go back to finish it. I wasn't really enjoying it that much. And then the book that I did finish while we were there was Breaking Rules by Tracy. Hold on. Why can't I ever get the cover? I just want the cover. Why is it so hard? Especially because I finished the book, so it thinks I'm on page 231. So this is the cover, Breaking Rules by Tracy Puckett. I did not realize when I picked it up that it was the first book in a trilogy, and that kind of irritated me. I gave it 3 stars. It was really easy to get through, but I don't really plan on continuing on with the series. It does leave on kind of a cliffhanger where you kind of are like, really, and unsatisfied, but I don't really feel like picking up the next book. That was like a book that I got for free once, like when I very first got my iPad. And then the rest of this video is a haul. I know I said I was on a book buying ban. So one of these books I got for free. 2 of these books I got pre-orders, so they didn't count. And then 2 of these books aren't mine. And 1 is just a, like, had to get it souvenir. And the other 2 I got in the airport in Ireland. So I figured it's vacation, so I'm doing it. So the first book is a book that I just received today. I got it from Fiction Guild, and that is Mrs. Lee and Mrs. Gray by Dorothy Love. This follows General Robert Lee's wife, and it sounds like a slave, and it has to deal with the Arlington House and around Civil War time period, and like how they are like the best of friends and their friendship, I think. So this should be interesting. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but we'll see. And then these next 2 books are pre-orders, and I had pre-ordered Recreated by Colleen Houck. This is the sequel to Reawakened. This is her new, like, Egyptian trilogy. She also wrote the Tiger's Curse series, which I loved. So I read Reawakened last year, and I enjoyed it, so I decided I would try to pick up the sequel. The next book, obviously, I had to pre-order, and that was The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson. I've had this pre-ordered since before Christmas, so I think that goes to show how long I've been waiting for this book, but I was not expecting it to be almost 700 pages long. The font, at least, is decent, but yeah, I'm interested in getting into this book. I don't know when. I should probably read it before school starts again because it is ginormous, but we'll see. Now, this is the book that I got pretty much for the souvenir type of idea, and I got Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, but this is in Gaelic, so I figured this doesn't count towards my book buying ban because I will never actually be able to read it anyways, so it doesn't add anything to my TBR, but it was just so beautiful that, like, come on, I had to let myself buy it. So yeah, this is going to be really cool to just, like, own and have on my shelf. The next 2 books are books that Patrick bought over in Ireland because we don't have these ones yet. So he got Percy Jackson and the Greek Heroes by Rick Riordan, and then Percy Jackson and the Greek Gods by Rick Riordan. So these are kind of like companion books to the Percy Jackson series. It's kind of like him telling stories about the Greek gods and the Greek heroes. We had walked by these, and he thought they were really cool covers because they're like the UK edition, and we didn't have them yet, so he thought that we should get them for our lovely collection. So that's that. So technically they're his, but like he's gonna end up reading them, and I'll probably end up reading them too. So that's that. My biggest thing was the fact that, like, I wanted to buy a book that was, like, in a UK cover, so that way, I mean, it's kind of cool to be over in Ireland to get covers that, like, we don't have here in America. That's the day that I was looking for the Harry Potter book. Like, I looked for Diane Chamberlain books, and I couldn't remember which ones I've owned and which ones I don't own. I own all of Leanne Moriety's books, and her covers are gorgeous over there. I debated getting a Jojo Moyes book because her UK covers are gorgeous, but I still haven't read anything by her, and I have a book over here on my shelf that I haven't read yet, so didn't do that. So I got 2 books that I've actually never heard of. When I was in the airport, they were having a buy one get one half off paperback sale, so I decided to go with it. So I got The Way We Were by Sydney? I never know. Shanae? I think it's Shanae, actually. I don't remember. Moriarty. The Way We Were, and I don't know if she's any relation to Leanne Moriarty, but she has very similar kind of storylines. Like, this one is about a woman whose husband has, like, disappeared. She thought he was dead, but turns out he's not dead. He comes back, and he wants to be back in her and her daughter's life, and things ensue. Like, all of her books sounded so good, I couldn't decide which one I wanted. It was very hard, but the other one had Pen on it, so that made my decision for me. And then the last book I got was My Mother's Secret by Sheila O'Flanagan. This is about a girl, and I think that, like, she's obviously, like, convinced that her parents have the perfect marriage and things like that, and then I think she goes to, like, throw them a party for their anniversary, and then come to find out her mom has this big secret that can like turn their life upside down or something like that. So I thought that sounded really interesting, and I like the cover. I really want this girl's dress really badly because it's really pretty and pink and I love it. So yes, those are the books that I got. I know I said I wasn't going to buy any books, and this is it. This is for real, because that was just because I was on vacation. I felt like I could splurge just a little bit, but for real, like I'm done. I'm done. I know the only book that I know right now that I have pre-ordered comes out in October, and I don't have anything else pre-ordered. So we'll see. Time to get reading these shelves. I'm so glad to be home, so that way I could read a little bit before the school year starts. But it was such a great trip. Like I almost like want to make my own video just talking about the trip. So if that's something you're interested in hearing about,